Michael Jackson is from Indiana.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
No, I did.
Yeah, Freddie Gibbs is from Indiana.
Michael Jackson, what, like the black one or the white one?
The black one.
To be fair, Jeff Teague's from Indiana. Actually.
Yeah, he's from.
Yeah,
Wait, he played at his home team.
He did.
Wow.
Got to do it. It's part of sports, though. You have to go back to where it started, man.
Facts.
You know, it's natural. It's natural. But we're going to dive straight into what the Indiana Pacers have got going on this year. Tony, I'll start with you. You kind of alluded to it a little bit in the OKC preview. Beginning of the season, coming into it, I know they made the conference finals. They got swept. Nasty work by the Boston Celtics. So I was like, cool. It's nice that they got there. They faced a lot of injured teams to get there, by the way. They went through, if I'm not mistaken, they went through the Bucks, the Knicks. Neither of those teams were healthy. This year, however, let me wear my manners. I'm going too quickly. Coming into the season, I know you've alluded it to already, but what was your expectation, if you even had any, for the Pacers coming into the year?
No, second round. Like, if they get a nice matchup in the first round, yeah, they probably win that because they're the top 4 team in the East. But second round again, maybe a conference finals if they get there again like last year. But no one expected the Pacers to do what they're doing this year. And credit to them. I think Halliburton's made a jump up. I think he's made a jump up. I'm not saying he's a superstar yet, because I feel like you need to win. You don't have to win the finals, like the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, but because that doesn't mean I couldn't even tell you the name of the trophy. But when you're a superstar on the team, even if you didn't play the best on the team, you just win that award, innit? It's the same way like Jason Tatum, why he's not the face of the league because he didn't win Finals MVP. They gave it to Jaylen Brown. Like if you're the superstar on the team, even if you would have to have an astronomically bad performance for them to not give you.
Superstar the team, you get that award, no question.
Get that award, no one's so like even it's weird because Hallie's made the step up, and I really thought the Pacers would have a bad season. I remember the season started off with Halliburton with 3 snow bunnies coming back from the club.
I've seen that.
Yeah, bro, we all saw that thinking,
Snow Bunny Assassin.
Horrible as well. They were horrible with shooting splits.
I was just like, oh man, like Halliburton, you're going to get all your powers taken away, but clearly the Snow Bunnies gave him more power and he's made a jump up, and now they're in the finals, and it's the first finals in God knows how long, so big up the Pacers. And big up, I think the Pacers are a good team. They're just a good team, innit? Like, it's not like there's no superstar, there's no thing. They're just a well-oiled machine where everyone has their role and you've got good basketball players on there. And somehow they made it into the finals.
You know what? You say somehow, Stateside tough. And I'm going to ask you this in a second, but I know they made it to the conference finals last year. They made it to the NBA Cup finals as well last year when they got bounced around by LeBron, and I think that was probably due to a lack of experience. Same thing you could say for when they got to the conference finals as well. But when you look at it on paper, and I'm prone to this as well, I underrated them, man. Obviously, really good team. They have a budding, point guard. Probably has made the leap into some people's top 5 point guards in the whole NBA. I'm literally watching on NBA.
Yeah, I would put him top 5.
I reluctantly.
I think
that's your boy, though. Yeah,
I know he is. Cade Cunningham's really good too, though. And I've gone to
yeah, but shiny new toy, man. Cade ain't better than Halliburton. He isn't. He just isn't.
We'll see. We'll have this debate another day. I don't know though.
Bro, you put Cade into this Pacers team.
I'm saying you put Cade into OKC.
You were gonna ruin everything. What the hell? Leave my team alone.
You're gonna ruin everything we have.
Don't put this rookie on my team, man. That kid is alright, man.
I've been high on the Pistons all year, for example, But no, I've underrated the Pacers a lot. They have a really, really good head coach who has playoff experience, championship experience, who's been, who was a stalwart with the Dallas Mavericks, and what he did for that franchise, unbelievable. He's come into this Pacers situation now, and he's kind of taken a lot of what he's learned in Dallas, and he's kind of implemented it in here. He had to work in Dallas with Dirk Nowitzki, which we all know what he is, but what his limits are defensively, so you have to build around that, and he still was able to, squeeze a championship out of that franchise. Now he's got a similar song and dance now, where he's got a budding, I will say for lack of a better word, superstar, who's has defensive deficiencies as well. However, with how good their offense is, and with defenders like Siakam with Miles Turner, they've managed to get it done in terms of actually getting to the finals. And Stateside Humph, I'm going to ask you this: how impressed are you with their offense? Because you say OKC's defense is all time. I'm telling you now, go look at graphs, go look at advanced stats, go look at numbers. This Pacers offense all time is boxing with a lot of people. I'm letting you know.
No, I enjoy watching the Pacers play. I've watched a lot of Pacers this playoffs. They play very quick, play very fast, as we're saying, well-oiled machine. Do you know what I mean? They don't let the ball stick, which I think that might be one thing that our defense will struggle with, because we faced a lot of defenses. We face a lot of offenses where the ball sticks. Randall's getting in the post here, Jokic is getting in the post here, Jar's gonna get in this place, that place. So then we set up defensive schemes to try and nullify that. But with the Pacers, is just this danger comes from everywhere. It's not just Halliburton. It's not just Siakam. They leak out with Obi Toppin, or they get TJ McConnell coming off the bench, pushing the pace. There's danger everywhere. Do you know what I mean? So it's not one specific place where you can focus your defensive scheme on. So that just makes this Pacers team very dangerous defensively as well. I don't think people give them enough credit on that end. They pressure you 94 feet. I think our guards, they're going to have to be very strong with the ball, or else there's going to be problems for them. So even though, like I said, everyone rates this Pacers offense, I think defensively as well, they're very, very good. But I like the offense a lot. You know what I mean? It's when shots are falling, it's very attractive to watch, the whole offense.
It is. I remember game 1 versus the Knicks when Aaron Nesmith was splashing all them.
Oh, it was crazy, innit?
Oh, I was like, you know what? Fair play, because this is great basketball. This is fantastic. But Tony, I want to come back to you on this as well. You know the classic saying, good defense, better offense. If it's ever a clash, and you've seen this in football, you've seen this in the NFL, you've seen this in all sports, usually if it's a case of better offense or best offense versus best defense, normally best offense comes out on top. So I'm going to ask you the question, knowing this, stereotype that's always there, why is it then that people are putting automatically the Oklahoma City Thunder over the Pacers, even though the case of offense versus defense, the Pacers probably have the advantage there? Why are people putting the Thunder over them though?
I think it differs. It differs in American sports. I think in football, I think offense beats defense. But I think I watch NFL, and defense beats offense a lot. And so, prime example, I'm a Denver Broncos fan. We had the best offense in the league in 2013, statistically one of the best offenses we've ever seen in the NFL. We get to the Super Bowl, we go up against the Legion of Boom, the best defense, which was the Seattle Seahawks, and we get absolutely topped. I finished it at halftime, we were done after Percy Harvin returned the kick. I was like, yeah, cool, I've got 6 1 tomorrow, I'm going to bed. 2 years later, we come with the best defense. Fair enough, we don't play the Seahawks, but we've now got
that was Cam Newton and
against the Panthers, 2015. I remember.
They were a good team though.
Miller.
That was MVP Cam Newton, right?
That was MVP, which was the best offense.
Nullify that.
And then, so in America, defense wins championship, bros. And I think one.
Shout out Nico Harrison.
Nico
won. He got the number 1 pick. He won.
They doubted him. Not me.
They doubted him. Adam Silver pushed the button and he bust case for it. But I think in American sports, defense wins championships. I think it really does. I think nullifying your opposition, because everyone can score. Everyone at an NBA level can score. But having a great defense and a historic defense is going to be hard for... It just stops... when you have an historic offense, you're going up against rubbish defenses or just defenses that are not really historic. But when you have a historic defense, you're going up against everyone. You can go up against bad offenses, but you're going up against good offenses too. And fair enough, it can go vice versa, but defense just normally tends to win, bro. And even if it's not a defense, you can make the whole narrative of this defense versus offense, or we don't know who's going to win. OKC from 1 to 9 are a better team than the Pacers. So I think that's why everyone's favouring OKC. And as much as I want to give this to make it a series, I think the series could be done in 5 or 6. I know it's crazy because I thought the Timberwolves series would go to 6 or 7. I said OKC in 6 or 7, but Honestly, and I'm thinking right now with the Pacers, like just the way they match up, you're gonna have to get a lot out of these Pacers to try beat this OKC team. A lot. I'm not sure if they can do that 4 times in a row. One or two tops, but I just look at this. I just look at both sides, both teams going up into these finals, and I just see that OKC might just have too much for them.
You make great points because while you was talking there, I was just looking at some advanced stats, regular season and postseason. The regular season stats are quite telling as well. I remember there's a famous stat that there's never been, and I think this still stands. There's never been an NBA team in history that's won the championship that has not been first or top 10 in offense and defense. You need to be really balanced and Stateside Tom. This is where I bring you in. When I'm looking at the stats now, OKC obviously they fit the bill. In regular season, they were third in offensive rating, first in defensive rating. If I look at the Pacers, on the other hand, they're in the top 10, they're ninth in offensive rating. Obviously, they yanked it up in the playoffs. When I'm looking at the defensive rating, they're 14th? They're middle of the pack. So when you hear that and you see how OKC are playing, you mentioned the historic all-time defense. I'll ask you like this: do the Pacers have any chance to even make it competitive? Be nice, because remember, this is the Pacer preview. This is not the OKC preview. We've done that. Be nice to these boys in Indiana. They're listening. They're watching you right now.
Indiana, they're a good team. I think, on the road this playoffs, they're 6-2. They're 6-2. They played the Bucks first round, and I think they even split or won both games in Milwaukee. They played the Cavs. They won the first two in Cleveland, and obviously they played the Knicks. They won the first two in Cleveland as well, in New York as well. So they're dangerous on the road. Do you know what I mean? If you open the door slightly for them, they'll walk through it. So that's one thing OKC need to try and make sure we don't do. You know what I mean? That's what we done with the Nuggets in round two. Obviously, the first game when Chet missed those 2 free throws, that was a game that we needed to win, or we should have won. But we left the door open, and the Nuggets went through it. The Pacers would do the exact same thing if we open the door for them. So they're dangerous on the road. They can steal a game in OKC, but we're 7-1 at home in the playoffs. That game I was just talking about, that was the only game we lost at home all playoffs. So I think if we go to in Indiana up 2-0, I think the series is done. The Pacers will have to lean on their good record on the road to try and split it going back home.
Stay silent because I'm a responsible person. Imagine the scenario.
Right.
The Pacers do it. It might it takes them 6 games. It takes them 7 games. I don't know what it will be, but they do it. Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam, whatever, they are the Finals MVP. How, on a scale of 1 to 10, how shocked would you be if that was to come to fruition?
You have to have me on Suicide Watch. Honestly, I don't know if I can say that on this airways, but you have to check on me.
You say one thing in episode,
you have to get on. You have to get on this blower, because I don't know if I'll be about. I can't even lie to you. I don't see a world. I see a world where Indiana gets a game or 2. I don't see them beating us over 7. The 14 losses that we've had in this regular season, it's been teams have had to shoot us out of the building. They have
the potential to do that, by the way.
4 out of 7 times.
4 out of 7 times.
You're asking a lot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're asking a lot. I know the offense is very good, but this historic defense that we keep talking about is one of the best to stop the rhythm of another team's offense. As you're saying, defense will always trump offense and like the highest level. And I feel like that's exactly what we do. The Pacers, they rely solely on just the rhythm of play. We don't turn the ball over much as well. The Pacers, they don't turn the ball over, but we don't turn the ball over as well. Then again, since the start of January, OKC and Indiana top 1 and top 2 in the league in terms of record. So it's set up perfectly. I just think a lot will have to go right for the Pacers. Obviously, barring any sort of like injury, touch wood.
Yeah, of course. We hopefully like to not speak about injuries, because obviously that kills any series. It makes it quite Mickey Mouse.
Exactly.
In my eyes.
Exactly. But I'm just saying a lot will have to go right for the Pacers to get a couple of games, let alone win the whole series.
Tony, I'll give you the last word on the Pacers. Scale of 1 to 10. They end up doing it. How shocked would you be?
11, bro. Because I totally agree with Humphrey. Like, to beat this OKC team, like I remember when. Do you remember when OKC lost to Cleveland in January or December?
Yes.
One of the great regular season games I ever watched.
Yes.
Good game.
It was a crazy game. So I remember I was in America for that game, and so I watched it like at a reasonable time, believe it or not. It was only like 7, so I was watching it with dinner, and I was just like, okay. I remember in the first half, Donovan Mitchell had like 2 points in the first half, right? But Cleveland were just shooting lights out, but OKC were just there and thereabouts, bro. And it didn't feel like OKC were, like, you could tell, because Cleveland were home at the time. So, like, when they were making their threes, like, the crowd were bumping up, but then OKC would just come back. They would just come back. And there were so many lead changes all throughout that game. And I thought to myself, like, when it comes to playoff times, because this was when Chet was injured, right?
Chet didn't play. Yeah, Chet didn't play.
Chet didn't play. J-Dub was doing a lot of 5 work.
Yeah. I remember Chet was out.
Hartenstein was playing, but he had to deal with both Mobley and Allen. It was just too much.
Yeah, he had to deal with Mobley, and that's the thing. That's the kind of the reason as to why you lost the game, because Mobley had a really good game. It was Mobley and Allen that was doing bits. But I thought to myself after that game, I'm like, how is someone, when this team is healthy, how is someone going to beat them, like, in the playoffs? Like, you can't even outshoot these guys, because even if, like, OKC talent-wise, like, everyone on your bench is, like, first-round talents, bro. Like, it's not normal. You've constructed a team that's not really normal. And so to beat them, you're going to have to shoot lights out for 4 out of 7 games, which, fair enough, we've seen Indiana do twice against the Knicks. But other than that, like, and they still beat the Knicks, but the Knicks are the Knicks, innit? But I'm sorry, I just don't see a world. I'll be so shocked if the Pacers will get a game. I don't think it'll be a sweep. I think the Pacers have enough about them to get a game, whether it's in Indiana or whether they still won in OKC. But to win 4, like, that'll be crazy. And will this be the first MVP that wins a chip?
Oh, good. In a while.
2013, I want to say.
Did Jokic win a chip with his championship? I mean, win MVP with his championship?
That was the Embiid year.
That was when Embiid cried.
All right. You might be right. It doesn't happen that often.
LeBron was from my memory anyway. LeBron was the last one. Curry didn't do it. Curry didn't.
Yeah, Curry's unanimous ones was 2016
and 15. They gave it to Iguodala for some odd reason. That's one thing as well I don't like.
No, about regular season MVP.
Yeah, wait, is that what you're talking about? Regular season and
I was talking about
regular season MVP to win a championship.
Yeah, to win a championship.
So it would have been Curry.
Would have been Curry in 2015.
Oh yeah.
It's 10 years, bro.
10 years. It's a very long time. No team has gone back to back as well, as I always say on this thing. Do you know what I mean? So even if we do win it this year, who's to say we don't actually win it the next year?
This is the thing. I feel like if you win it this year, we're all in trouble.
You say that.
Going
back to back is not easy. Going back to back ain't easy, man. The last team to do that again was the Golden State Warriors, if I'm not mistaken. But even then, Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, like that was written in the stars, like 100%.
Yeah.
This OKC team is young enough to where it's like, you still got to show me something. You're not superstars. Apart from Shea, there's not enough established talent here for me to say automatically, you're going to win it next year.
We just got to close it out. We just got to close it out in this year's one, and then obviously. But then I'm also intrigued, like how not even if we win it this year, just the fact that we've dominated the West back-to-back seasons. What does other teams have to do to try and stop this OKC team? Like what?
You're not.
Because you saw with 2022 Warriors when they won it, they were a very small team. They lost the next year to the Lakers, very big team. 2023 Nuggets won it, very big team. They come up against the Minnesota Timberwolves with Gobert, Cat, and Nazarene, another big team that they just out physicaled them. Do you know what I mean? They beat them with defense. This OKC team is constructed. They've got speed, length, size, MVP. What can you construct to try and beat this team?
My thing is that in the NBA, there's always going to be like a player or a team that's dominating, like maybe for a few years, and for the last few years, it's been Jokic.
Right.
So I truly believe that teams have built their teams or constructed their rosters in that if we want to win the NBA championship or in the Western Conference at least, if we want to come out of the West, we need to beat the Denver Nuggets. because they will get as far as it takes, and we might meet them in the Western Conference Finals or second round. If we don't have the roster to beat Jokic, we have no chance. The Timberwolves, for example, have built their team to go and beat the Denver Nuggets. They did it last year. If they met them this year, I'm quite confident to say they probably would have done it again. When the Golden State Warriors met the Toronto Raptors in the final, I'm not going to lie, that was a bit of a nightmare matchup for them in terms of perimeter defenders, Lowry, Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, Stephen Curry, and them lot. Maybe they would have won, but that was such a tough matchup.
And KD got injured.
And KD got hurt. But even then, I like to think Kawhi had something for him. Kawhi was still, not that far off of his peak. Do you know what I mean? So I'd like to, obviously right now, OKC, they're the youngest team. They're the newest flavor of the month. There's going to be this offseason, especially now there's going to be a lot of, movement around a lot of teams. A lot of teams are going to be tooling up now to try and come for you lot. There's going to be teams that build their team to beat you. They're going to see what you do in the finals.
You don't have to say that with so much energy like that. You don't have to say it with so much energy like that.
They're going to be teams that gear up.
And it's true. It's true.
Tony, remember what Houston Rockets did when they had to contend with that KD team? They took them to Game 7 because they constructed their roster to go and beat Golden State. Did they do it? No. But it's going to happen.